deep, man. It really is fucking amazing. But yeah, if you look into the brain research, and what's interesting about
where does that come from? The rabbit hole goes deep. Like that's a very popular thing amongst people that are woke.
I think that's from Alice in Wonderland.
Well, I know that, yeah, but why? How does that tie into the consciousness movement of knowing conspiracy theories?
Because you have to go down in the dark hole, and and it just like branches off.
Because Sappho uses that all the time.
When you go in that hole, you read about these things, and the things I'm telling you. You go and research.
It's in the quantum physics videos.
All of that stuff.
The rabbit hole, they talk about that there too.
Yeah. Because I guess it branches off in all these different directions like a rabbit's burrow, right? It goes all over the place under the ground.
Do you know in Egypt that they also did the same thing that they're doing now? They kept information from us, like the word dodecahedron was like a forbidden thing, which ties into sacred geometry, like the Egyptians.
Check out this. I put this yesterday.
I think the pyramids were built. To be honest, I have no answer
this is like 4 minutes.
to that question. And anybody who tells you that he or she knows how the pyramids were built,
Graham Hancock.
Because
I have a book of his.
We don't know. The Great Pyramid contains a number of mysteries. The Great Pyramid, first of all, is very big. The Great Pyramid weighs 6 million tons. We can calculate that from its mass. It weighs 6 million tons. Its footprint is 13 acres. It's more than 750 feet along each side. It's 481 feet tall. More than 2.5 million individual blocks of stone were used in its construction. But it's not just big. It's really, really precise. The Great Pyramid is locked in to the cardinal dimensions of our planet. The Great Pyramid is targeted on true north within 3/60ths of a single degree. Now, no modern builder would create a large building and add onto his or her shoulders the additional burden of aligning it to true north within a fraction of a single degree. They just wouldn't get it. They wouldn't understand why it was important to do that. But something drove the builders of the Great Pyramid to go to a very great additional trouble, not only to create this massive, imposing monument, but also to lock it on.
Isn't it ironic that's our last name, though, too?
I know.
To incorporate into its dimensions
maybe we're related
the dimensions of our planet.
And then we're meant to change the system.
Too numerical or possibly even boring here. But if you take the height of the Great Pyramid and multiply it by 43,200, you get the polar radius of the Earth. And if you measure the base perimeter of the Great Pyramid accurately and multiply that measurement by 43,200, you get the equatorial circumference of the Earth. In other words, for thousands of years, through dark ages when human beings didn't even know they lived on a planet, never mind its dimensions, that monument has encoded and speaks out the dimensions of our planet on a scale of 1 to 43,200. And the scale is not random. The number 43,200 is derived from a key motion of the Earth, which is called the precession of the Earth's axis. The Earth wobbles on its axis.
Gyroscopic.
Gyroscopic
at the rate of 1 degree every 72
precession.
years. And 43,200 is a multiple of 72. In fact, I think it's 600 times 72, but I need to double check that. But it's a multiple of 72. Check it out.
Remember that number 72.
Us the dimensions of our planet on a scale defined by the planet itself. And that's an incredibly clever thing to do. How on earth did they do it? Where did that knowledge come from? This is why I'm forced to consider the possibility of a lost civilization in the human story. This is a work of almost, but not quite, space-age precision. It contains errors, but they are human errors for sure, but they're very tiny. The great precision, great skill, great craft. Some people will say to you, oh, the Great Pyramid was built by slaves. That is utter bullshit. No slaves were ever involved in the construction of the Great Pyramid. As far as I know, there were no slaves in Old Kingdom Egypt whatsoever. The Great Pyramid, I've climbed it 5 times. I've been in every known chamber in the Great Pyramid. It is a work of stunning artistic achievement. You're looking at the work of masters of architecture at the peak of their skill. Not an unwilling labor force, but people who gave their labor to that work work with
That's why
love
we're seeing this.
and
These
with
people
care
aren't
and
hiding
with
it.
attention.
It's not random.
There are
that
blocks of
videos
stone
you're seeing.
weighing 70 tons that have been raised more
Yeah.
than
Rising
300
like the Great
feet
Phoenix.
above the ground. And we're not talking a couple of blocks.
Look
We're
at
talking
Pearson's
dozens
education,
of blocks
right?
of that
What's
weight.
their logo?
The
It's a
average
phoenix
block weighs
rising.
about 2.5 tons.
And I used one at
It's
school, one of
the
their programs. It's
moving
called
of those
My
huge blocks of
IT
stone,
Lab and
their
Mastery,
arrangement into a
where I had
high
to
precision
submit my
monument,
submissions.
and the
And
achievement
it would
of
tell me
actually
you submitted
doing
your
it, because
submissions
if you
4
make a
times
small
today.
mistake at the base,
Pay attention
by the
to the
time you get to the
language,
summit of your 480 1 foot
smart
high
grid,
pyramid, you don't have a pyramid, you have a
iPhone.
Have you listened to Michael
These guys
Tazarian?
are
They got
fucking
it
brilliant,
all
man.
right,
I think,
and nobody
like,
today
you and I
can
both are
explain
complete
how they
retards
did
in
it.
mathematics.
Right?
I've taken algebra 5 times in my life, and I still don't know shit about it. I couldn't have factored a polynomial if I had to.
I'm with you. I took it 4 times.
But on languages, I'm very good. Right?
I have a book of his called
So I-
Magicians of the Gods. It's like a $52 book.
Yeah.
You might like
I
that.
would be, but I have so much shit to. Right now, I'm getting certified in
I'm gonna have to
IT,
watch this again.
and it's overwhelming. But yeah, it's all of this shit is connected. The Masons and the pyramids, and it wasn't slaves. It was.
But you think the magicians, the Masons were in the like BC time basically, or like when, or like I don't know.
I don't know the answer to that, but I find it very interesting. Oh, that 72 number that he mentioned
Yeah. What about 72?
also happens to be a very odd number because there's this thing in finance that I learned when I went to mortgage broker school. I studied
This
a lot
all
of
ties
shit,
together.
man. Yeah, but anyways, look. It's called the rule of 72s, and it stands to this day. If you want to know how many years it will take to double your investment, any kind of investment, divide the interest rate by 72, and it will tell you.
Why 72?
I don't know. But it's fascinating that the pyramids are based on that number 72, and how that works in doubling. It will explain to you mathematically how long it will take your investment to double. It's weird.
7 plus 2 is 9, so it's like the 9 prime.
I don't know.
I don't know. So I
I
feel like
remember Nikola
numerology.
Tesla said something about the
3, 6, and 9. Numerology.
Something to it.
Have you
man.
ever done the?
I don't know. It's odd, but it's interesting when you look into that stuff, and it's all connected. It seems. I don't know if there's any connection at all, but I find it interesting that all this mysterious stuff took place, and these craftsmen, which were called masons, right? A block mason, concrete is people that work with block and shape blocks. That's what a mason is.
I like to think of Masons like working with crystals.
well, this comes from working with concrete and rock. But it's interesting when you think about it. And then you look at Washington, D.C. is full of Masonic references. There's hundreds of them. And what do you see? All these singers, right? Beyonce and all these people with the eyeball and the pyramid and their concerts and the power that they have by what they say to shape the culture,
consciousness.
The culture, what people
Collective
think is
consciousness.
cool. People look at that and they imitate that and they want to be like that.
Or like, yeah.
That's why
they
they
eat
control
this, or they-
television and they control, because whoever controls television and music controls culture, right? They could shape culture in any direction. They could make anything. And in the meantime, they dumb down the public with Tide Pods and what Trump said last night.
Why is that a
And
popular
all this-
thing right now, by the way? The Tide Pods thing. What is going on with this? Like, people are eating Tide Pods?
I don't know.
What are they doing? Like, I don't
I
understand.
don't know either. But people are distracted by all this nonsense that has nothing to do with the situation that confronts us now, right? We're coming into this new system of technocracy where one company takes over everything.
Well, we want it, is
and
what it
we
is.
have nothing, right? They're taking everything from us, our books, our music, our tapes. Nobody has any of that anymore, right?
Yeah, we're moving into a shift.
Right, and they can change it anytime they want. Whatever history was, they can change that in a
His
minute.
story.
They can change it in it's language. It's so deep.
I would love to study language.
Yeah, I've always been fascinated with languages. I don't know why. And it's interesting because, I'm learning Tagalog now, and like when you learn other languages, when you learn to speak other languages, you see things from other points of view. I'd like to use this as an example. In Spanish, esposas, you know what it means? Handcuffs.
Esposa?
Yeah, there's no difference in the word. You only know the difference from the context of what they're saying. But it's interesting how marriage is esposas, handcuffed.
Oh, stop.
And then look in Tagalog, right? In
Yeah.
Tagalog, the way you say I love you is mahal kita. Mahal kita.
Mahakita.
Mahal means expensive and kita means profit. So to say I love you means expensive profit, which is interesting because being in love, you profit, right? It's a wonderful thing being in love. It's the best, right? The house is on fire. No biggie, honey, as long as we have each other, right?
Yeah,
So it's
love.
a profit.
Yes.
But it's expensive because you pay a price for it with your soul, right?
Soulmate.
And your money, it's expensive, and you have to give up a part of yourself because, like, if I'm in a relationship with some woman and she comes and moves here with me on the boat, like what happened to me and Dee, right? Dee used to come here to the boat every weekend with me. And then she got to buy you in that fucking boat, right? And so what did I do? I went and got an apartment up there on the water and all that shit.
Yeah, for love.
Yeah, so it was an expensive profit. So if you speak several languages, some woman comes to tell you, I want to be your wife, you might recoil and go, oh my God.
Handcuffs.
Yeah, expensive profit, all these things stir around in your head, right? Whereas if you only speak English, and someone says, I want to be your wife. It sounds so beautiful and wow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? By speaking,
We're also
it's like having
conditioned.
different software systems to look in your head to look at problems. It helps.
Well, I was talking about this just the other day. Exactly, like I grew up with Disney movies and stuff where I want true love and
Something
a
fishy
love
about
life.
that fucking dude too, man.
Well, I think he was a child molester.
I do too.
Well,
And it's interesting.
what else do you know
it's
about
interesting,
him?
the rat, right? The mouse, and how we're studied with the Skinner box, right? Skinner did all these studies with the rat pressing the lever. That's how they know how to make, the likes. Facebook holds back likes, right? And it waits until you put your phone away, and then it'll go ding, and it'll put another one, and you're like, oh shit. And it sucks you back in. They don't just spin the likes when the person clicks on them. They decide when you receive those. And they know that from a study with rats. It was called the Skinner box. B.F. Skinner, I think it was his name. I know Skinner was his last name. But they took these rats and they would give them like a reward. I'm trying to remember. It was like they had one lever with one study where if every time they pressed the lever, they got the reward. They didn't press it that often. But they found if you made it sporadic, that sometimes they get the reward, sometimes they didn't. They would just, right? Because they don't know when they're going to get the next one.
Yeah.
That's what we're dealing with. These people are very.
That makes me think of that other trick.
These people are very, very.
Where you make
smart.
like a ding and then you get the treat.
Right, that's Pavlov who did studies as well. Think about that. The bell in school. Ring.
Stop it.
Boom.
Stop
Instantly.
it.
Pay
Taco
attention.
Bell.
I pledge allegiance to the flag. Right? It's all fucking brainwashing and people can't see it and you can't tell nobody. Because have you ever seen The Whitest Kids You Know?
No.
The Pledge Allegiance? Oh, this is awesome. But I've put it a few times and people like, ooh, it's like, it freaks them out, man. Because what these kids are saying is the truth.
I posted a funny joke like, oh, I wish that I could do a financial domination video where I wipe my ass with a $100 bill, but I would probably get arrested. I don't know if
You probably would.
Defacing it.
Ding.
Goosebumps. Goosebumps.
But
This is really the greatest country in the whole world. All the other countries suck. And if this country ever goes to war, as it often wants to do, I promise to help go and kill all the other countries' kids. God bless Johnson and Johnson.
what it's really saying, right? It's more the effect.
God bless Citigroup. Amen.
Very good, kids.
Now take your riddle.
I have goosebumps everywhere right now.
Yeah, I posted it before. It's shunned. I don't know if it's from the algorithm doesn't let people see
Right.
it, but or if people see it and it just shocks them to the core because they realize it's true.